Hi there, my name is Harry Bona. I'm the founder of Happy Harry's Used Recycled Building Materials in Canada here. Over the years, I've learned a lot of things about setting up a used building materials store. And I've written these all down in a book fashion so that you can look at it and understand what it takes to start up a used building material recycling business. In the book, I explain things like how to set up your store, where to find the building materials that you need to sell to your customers, what not to buy, and other venues to sell building materials. I don't get into how to set up your counter, how to do your signage outside your building. I get into the guts of the business, and that's really what it takes. When I first started, all I did was put a sign up on a building, and I had a warehouse where I had all of my materials that I renovated houses with. And basically, my foreman was out of work because I had finished renovating the houses I was going to renovate, and he didn't want to sit around and do anything. So he said, "Let me go to your warehouse and clean it out." Well, you know what? Within a couple of days, he came to me. He said, "Well, one of your trades, your electrician, or I can't remember, your plumber at that time, came by and he needed something for his house, and here's $50. He just picked up something out of my warehouse. And he said that, there's a lot of stuff that we're not going to use on our renovation jobs that I bought that was good stuff. So he said, "Well, why don't you just let me put a sign out in the street, building materials for sale, and see what happens?" Well, you know what? Within a couple of days, he was giving me $100, $200 for building materials that he knew we wouldn't use, and that other people came by and had a need for. Well, that one thing led to another. And within a few years, I had a great big warehouse with building materials as I was out doing the buying. And it wasn't anything fancy. The back of the warehouse wasn't heated, and up in Canada, that's a big thing because things freeze. We started selling. Well, let's skip ahead 25 years. I've opened 24 stores. They're franchise stores across Canada selling building materials. We have the mom and pops that are making $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year very comfortably. And we have the big corporate stores that are doing $18 million a year. Okay? It's a good business. It's recycling. When you're recycling building materials in your community, in your area, people respect it. People like the business. It's not controversial. It's a very, very good line of business to be in. I've written these all down into book form for you. I've got what I call the golden rules. These are things that you don't have to go out and find out yourself and lose money finding out that I should have done that. This book will give you the basics of what it takes to open a used building material store. Even if you're just looking at it, thinking this is something I might want to do, the book is a good read. Like I say, it'll give you all the basics. Again, I'm not going to tell you how to put writing on your windows, how to treat your staff, how to pay employee deductions and stuff like that. It's a book that gives you the basic guts of the business. If something like that was out there when I started, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money. Now, how did the book come about? Well, for every store that I opened, there was training the new entrepreneur that was opening the business. There was finding a location for them. There was sourcing the building materials and getting the store open and getting the appropriate council members from the city, the appropriate state fellas down to do photo shots and stuff like that when we opened up. Well, for every store that I opened and every manager or owner that I trained, there was managers to train. Usually, within a couple of years, the store got larger, so there was a second store to get. Okay? And a lot of the building materials, I used to fly around and buy out whole factories and then split it up amongst the stores. But after doing that, I saw that there was a pattern, there was a system to this. That's what I've written down in the golden rules. If you're at all thinking about getting into the recycling business, if you read this book, it'll give you an insight. That's what I'm trying to portray to you. I look forward to seeing in my lifetime, in every area that's over 250,000 people or more, a recycled building materials store. If you've read some of my web pages, you will see that Habitat for Humanity really caught on to the idea, even though they're a nonprofit. They came into my store, they evaluated the business, they had some kids from the taking MBAs at the University of Manitoba come in with their professor, walk around my business, talk to customers for a week or so, and they made a template that has opened 150 Habitat for Humanity restores. Okay? Well, I got a feather in my cap. I didn't get any money out of it, unfortunately. But the basic premise is that this is a doable business. It's a great mom and pop business. It's a great business that a contractor can do. It's a great business that a corporation can do. If you get the book, it will give you the basics of looking at the business and or starting up a business. Now, it sells for $50 US on the internet. It's the only place I sell it. Part of that money goes into what I'm doing here right now, is promoting the idea of recycling. That's my true goal. I'm retired now, I got time. I've done seminars, I've done interviews, I've passed the information off into Japan, down in Thailand, into Europe, Caribbean islands. I've given this information out gladly. And my goal is to see more recycling going on at the grassroots. And that's what I hope this book will portray to you. I have other books there, some of which are released, some of which aren't, that get more into depth of recycling and get more into business plans for if you do decide to open up. I haven't released that one yet. It will be coming out in the future. But if you're at all interested in recycling, if you're at all interested in recycling building materials, get this book. The $50 is well worth it. Thank you.